The wonderful opportunity to speak with a speaker, author, and positive psychology expert, as well as president of the Canadian Positive Psychology Association. Louisa Jewell, welcome to Life and Career Coaching Moment today.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Steffi. It's great to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. Can you share with us what's happening in positive psychology today and how you share it with workplaces?
Sure. Well, there's a lot happening in positive psychology, which is the scientific study of well-being. And so now people are starting to discover that they can't just get rid of the stress after the fact, that they have to start thinking about strategies to build resilience and build up tools that they can use to actually stay psychologically strong and keep healthy. It's sort of like eating right to prevent heart attacks. It's like exercising to stay healthy. And, you know, there's lots of things you can do now that we're learning through the study of well-being with regards to what we can do to stay psychologically healthy. And so primarily what I do is I'm a well-being teacher. So I deliver workshops, I deliver keynote addresses, I do public workshops, but I also do a lot of workshops with organizations and associations to really talk to people about how they can maintain their psychological well-being and improve it and become more resilient.
And when you go and speak to workplaces, do you leave them tools that they can take away with them for their employees?
Absolutely. So a lot of what I do is I talk a little bit about the science behind the tool, and then we talk practical strategies with regards to how they can incorporate things like this into their lives.
And Louisa, there's sometimes a myth about positive psychology. It's not always about being positive all the time. There's a reality behind the positive psychology. Can you share that with us?
Yeah, so you know, it's funny because when the term was first coined by Martin Seligman in 1998, when he became the president of the American Psychological Association, the positive in positive psychology was really about how, you know, there was this focus in psychology mainly only on mental illness and what's wrong with us and how to fix that. And that's good, because if people are not well, we want to help people. But what he saw with all of the research that was being done in psychology is that there was no focus on what actually keeps us psychologically healthy and resilient and can build tools for us. And so he thought that there was this imbalance in psychology. And so he was just thinking kind of the plus side of psychology. And it really wasn't about being positive all the time or being happy all the time. People think that it's about being happy all the time. And it's really not. It's really just about the kind of plus side of positive psychology. What are we learning with regards to that? And how can we apply it to stay psychologically healthy and not necessarily just to avoid, you know, getting mental illness.
Good. I'm glad you shared that with me, because I thought I might have to smile this whole interview and be positive the whole time.
No, people say to me all the time, they say, oh, you study positive psychology, you must be happy all the time. And I say, no, I have teenagers.
Exactly, exactly. That would do us all in, right?
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
Can you leave us with where to find out information about you if someone wants to book you for a speaking engagement, hire your services, and then last but not least, maybe a tip that we can take away with us today?
Sure. Well, so my website is louisajewell.com, and that's Jewell with 2 L's. And also, I guess with a tip, I think really one of the things that I'm always incorporating into every workshop that I do now is this idea around self-compassion. And I think it's really, really important. And I know for me, I've been practicing self-compassion for about 10 years now. And I really think it's very, very important that we all embrace self-compassion as we're, you know, to improve well-being, but also to improve performance, to improve confidence, you know, for everything in our lives, for whatever we want to go after in our careers and in our life. I think being self-compassionate is really important. And Kristen Neff is a leading researcher in that area, and she talks about 3 elements of self-compassion, which is, first of all, be aware that what you're going through is difficult, and say, hey, you know, this is hard, and recognize that and be okay with that. And then the second piece is to be kind to yourself. Say kind things like as if your best friend was talking to you. And then the third piece is really about understanding that good or bad, that's the human condition. You know, why are we so surprised when bad things happen to us? Well, guess what? That's life. Bad things happen, good things happen, and sometimes we sit there and say, why did this happen to me? Or, oh, and we take this kind of victim stance without realizing that, no, that's life. That's what you got today, you know?
That's right.
And yeah, and there's something about just accepting, but also knowing that millions of others are also experiencing good and bad as well. And the sooner that we can just accept it and not fight it and resist it, I think is really helpful.
Louisa, Jewell, you've been very helpful today. Thank you for that. Their challenges are just part of the human condition, and we can learn a lot from you in positive psychology. So thank you for your interview today in today's life and career coaching moment.
Thank you, Steffi. It was great to be here. Thank you.
Bye for now.
Bye.